All right, welcome back to the garage. On today's episode, we have a 67 Coupe DeVille. We're on location today, so we're not in our regular spot, but I want to go over it. It's a new addition to the fleet. I want to give you some of the things that we're going to be doing to the car and go over some of the things that make a 67 a clean example to work on. As usual, I was perusing Marketplace as I do in my spare time. I had my eye on this car for a while. I reached out to the sellers, made them an offer, and actually, as I said in my other videos, I went down in person. I looked it over, made them a cash offer, wasn't able to make a deal. Months went by. I kept my eye on the vehicle. It still stayed on Marketplace. After a few months, I basically went back, approached them again, and luckily I was actually able to make a deal on this. The car sat for quite some time. As you can see, it sat in storage. It's quite an original example of a Cadillac, and I like originality. You've seen my other episodes, and I talk about originality, having all the pieces, and when you're buying a Cadillac, that's what you go for. So patience is one of the things you want to have when actually buying a Cadillac. If you can't get the deal, don't just basically give up. Keep your eye on it. That's what I did. So I went back, able to strike the deal, and this is it. Let me actually walk around, show you what basically the car looks like inside and out, under the hood, some of the details. And honestly, if you want to know what I got this for, message down below and I'll let you know what I got this car for. All right, let's start under the hood. The beast of a Cadillac is a big block V8. It's the original 429, pretty much unmolested. Just looks like it had maintenance over the years. Looked like somebody swapped out the radiator, added electric fans. Looks like they went through cooling and actually electrical. Again, it's a 429. It has a little over 340 horse. This is not an original AC car, unfortunately. So here's a cool fact. There is a difference between AC and non-AC cars. Besides the fact of them having AC and non-AC, Cadillac would actually swap out the differential on them to just cut down on actually lag and fuel economy. That's a cool fact that some people might not know. Again, all the electrical looks intact, still has the external regulator, all the wiring, none of it looks molested. Again, when buying a Cadillac, go through that and look at it. There are some things in here I do want to clean up, overhead hood insulation and stuff like that, and some of this wiring. So that's some of the stuff that we will address in future episodes. All right, next we'll look at the interior. On this one, it's night and day compared to our other 67. Interior on this is really, really clean. No rips, no tears. And who doesn't like an all-white interior? It's something you really don't see in a lot of modern cars. You have some few modern cars that do have it, but it's very, very rare. The only thing you really have is some wear in the carpet. Other than that, headliner's solid, seats are solid, door panels are really solid. So a few cracks in the dash, but this is night and day compared to the other 67 we had. For a car this age, I mean, you can't complain. All right, one cool thing about classic Cadillacs, Coupe DeVilles are true coupes. Once you roll down the windows, you have no pillar. All the windows down, you have one solid opening, lets all the fresh air in. It's timeless in style. It's a true coupe. All right, let's go open the trunk. All right, if there's one thing all classic Cadillacs are notorious for, it's the two-body trunk. You see it in all gangster movies, and there's no lie about it. You could fit pretty much as many bodies as you want in them. It's pretty much what adds to the extra length to it. I mean, for a two-door coupe, this thing's longer than a Suburban. All right, so let me give you a quick walk around of the car. Some of the things I've already identified that I want to address and give you up close and personal with it. Overall, it's a really clean car, solid, no major rust or rot. Rockers are solid. But first thing I noticed is it does look like it got hit here in the fender. Bumper looks like it's pushed in, and there is some Bondo filler. Looks like it's older damage. It looks like something that was done pretty much in the 70s or early 80s. Other than that, I don't see any other damage on the car. hood hinges look like they actually need to be addressed. That hood's actually pushed up, and when you open up the hood, it does actually cock this way. It's something that's very common on these early Cads. Rivets go bad on them. People start to elongate the holes and stuff like that. So two things I want to address is hood hinges and actually this fender. Other than that, I don't really see too much. Let's walk around and look at some other stuff. Like I mentioned, rockers are super solid on the sides, bottoms. I got up and underneath the car, looked at everything. You do have a little bit of bubbling right here in the corner. For right now, for a cruiser, I'm not going to address this. And you also have a little bit of cracking right here where the car's let it. Again, right here, I don't think I'm going to address it. Main thing is the fender and the hood. Again, as long as these cars are, like I said, they're pretty much same length or longer than the current day Suburban, and as square as they are, getting one of these blocked or straight is key and essential. So if you see one of these things smash, crash, it's going to be hard to block them out. So this car was pretty square and pretty straight and no rot. These quarters are solid, no rot. There hasn't been any water dripping in or flooding this car out for years. So these quarters were dead solid. That's pretty much why it gravitated me to it. And the originality. Yes, it's had pretty much one paint job on it, but it was a no-brainer to grab it. As far as the passenger side goes, it pretty much reads like the driver's side, minus the driver's side fender damage. There's no damage on this side. So pretty much what I went over there, apply it to this side. So again, this is a good buy. There's a few other things that kind of drew me into this car as far as its originality goes, and I'll actually show you on the rear plates. As I mentioned, I'm a stickler for originality and unmolested cars, and this was original California black and yellow plate, and besides that, it spent pretty much all its years in the valley from the date it was purchased. It's got paperwork to prove it. I got it off the second owner, and it's got the original dealer plates. It's from Northridge, Neil Lear. If anybody knows about that, that's originally a San Fernando dealership, and then actually in the mid-60s, it actually moved to Northridge off of Reseda. So that type of pedigree and these type of trinkets actually drew me to the car more. It's got front and rear matching plates, front and rear matching dealer frames, and those were kind of the things that gravitated to me. Things like that actually are kind of priceless when you're purchasing the Classic. So if those things appeal to you, like I said, be patient. If you don't get your first offer accepted, wait it out. See if you can actually strike a deal with that individual. To me, this was a good deal, and I'm happy with it. All right, so if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe down below. And please stay tuned for more episodes on this 67 build. Like I said, we're going to clean it up, address all the stuff I pointed out, and do some customization on it. Thanks for tuning in.